scene.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Monday, December 4th, 2023, and you're watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I'm your boy, Sammer, hanging out with Stanker, who's sipping on a Celsius,
Sipping on some syrup.
even though they aren't sponsoring the show.
Wait, that's some Atlanta shit, isn't it? Fuck, I didn't mean to say that. Strike it from the record.
Yeah, strike it. Anyway, it's Victory Monday, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, not sure. But for those of you who love our merch, that means that you get 15% off with the code Victory Monday on loosecannonsmerch.com, where you can buy a bunch of amazing t-shirts that we have not designed many this year because we haven't won too often. But nonetheless, Victory Monday t-shirts are on there, so it's kind of a cool little Christmas
gift. Why don't you just be honest with the people, Sammer? You ever felt like it? They haven't inspired any kind of artistic creativity out of us, and we're not wearing Victor shades because
they don't deserve
it. They don't deserve it. Mike Evans.
You beat a 1-10 team at the time by only 3 points. You don't deserve victory shades. You just don't. So, Stanker, that kind of first thing on the list there. Bucs beat Carolina, stay playoff alive. We are officially in second place in the NFC South, the gauntlet of a division. For those of you who don't know, we're so good that none of us can win. All right, that speaks volumes, or something like that. Somehow we're the 10th spot in the NFL draft, and we still have a chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Makes no sense, but we did win, and we I don't know if we showed anything really. What did you think of that game? We were about the game. We had a lot of shit to bitch about and complain about. Like, how did it feel to be at the first Bucs home game this season that didn't play Country Roads?
First of all, it kind of felt dirty. You know, I didn't walk out of there like holding my head high. You know, the small contingent of Carolina fans who made it out to Raymond James, I felt bad for them, and I felt bad for us. You know, it's kind of like after you like just have some, you know, some bad sex. You just don't feel right afterwards. You feel like maybe that shouldn't have happened.
You take like 2 or 3 showers.
I feel like I got taken.
Still feels like you're still in the act of the bad sex. Yeah, and you're just.
I feel like I got taken advantage of.
I can still smell cigarettes. Where's that smell coming from?
Yeah, exactly. That's like you know, post Waffle House sex with some chick you do, you know, or whatever, or dude, whoever, it just didn't feel right, and we just got to get this back on tracks here. It was a win. I guess you can get excited. We might be able to play for first place next week. Woo, go Bucs!
Listen, before we dive into this, fun fact: I've never once stepped in a Waffle House. I have no idea what kind of place. What I am. I've been to IHOP, never been to a Waffle House. Never once. It's never come up. It's only one in town, really, in Sarasota, and I think it's gone since it was there when I was in high school. Never been in. Never had the chance. I don't think I'm missing out.
Here's the thing. You think Waffle House is dirty? It's probably the cleanest of all those types of diner places because you can actually reach out and like give the cook a wedgie. That's how close you are to them cooking. The kitchen's right there. It's a greasy spoon. You can watch them cook your food. I like it. I wish more restaurants you could give the cook a hug. I like that type of environment. Now you might see somebody get shot.
It's not like IHOP. IHOP in Bradenton is
IHOP is disgusting. Village Inn, I
know
them,
it's
bro.
Disgusting. I was told Waffle House is disgusting.
On your food. They're spitting on your food. They're teabagging your fucking pie. All that shit. How many pubes have you found in your food in those places? A ton. At least Waffle House, bro. Like I said, you might get cut, right? You might get your ass whooped by a dude with one eye, but it's still at least you know the food's clean.
Yeah, Clam Slammer and Rashawn. I'm well aware that IHOP sucks. I'm just saying I've had it at 3 a.m. after the club. Yeah. I understand, and I've just never been to a Waffle House. I always figured they were kind of the same because. I mean, the IHOPs I've been into at night, they're not safe. They don't feel safe. They don't feel clean. They don't feel delicious. Yeah. They feel like bad sex. We're back to this again, right?
Yeah, they do.
It feels like a Bucs game where they beat a
show.
1-10 That's what IHOP feels like, beating the Carolina Panthers at home by 3 points, even though they only have 1 win on the season. Wrap it up. I think that's a show. That's all of it.
We played a team that doesn't have an NFL quarterback. That guy is not
or a coach.
No, they literally don't have a coach. But that kid is not going to be good. Sorry, I will bet my all my houses on that shit. Not gonna happen. Not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna suck, and they're gonna regret it.
Listen, a win is a win, right? There were some goods from this. So like if we were to pick winners and losers of the game, winner. Again, Kalijah Cansey. Guys everywhere, making plays, disrupting plays. He's clearly going to be a very good player, if not a great player, for many years in Tampa Bay, barring injury, knock on wood. The other one, Antoine. Of course, Mike is kind of the easy one, but Antoine Winfield, again, absolute stud, dude. Regardless of the opponent, this dude shows up. I wish we had 11 of him on that side of the ball.
Yeah, no, I will give my game balls out. One goes to Mike Evans, and the other, just like Coach Bowles, I'm going to give it to Keanu Neal. I don't know why.
What? Ryan Neal?
I mean, yeah, Ryan. No, Keanu deserves it more than Ryan. Let's all be honest here. Keanu Neal deserves it. He doesn't listen. Ryan doesn't even deserve to be called Ryan. I'm going to continue to call him Keanu. Because he played linebacker, and Keanu actually played a little bit of linebacker for us too, I think, in the past. I could be making that up. Somebody don't check the stats on that. All 22 if you're in here.
He was supposed to. I know that much. He was supposed to, and he didn't camp.
He was supposed to. I guess he gets a game ball for playing position he ever played. Congratulations. You allowed, a high school quarterback to run a touchdown in on you because you didn't understand that your responsibility in that play. But,
so like in that, you're talking about the 2-point conversion where you've seen other players like Devin Weitzman in that spot, right? Where there's a guy behind him that he's guarding and then he's trying to decide. Yeah. And I think if you go back to high school, they always teach you to go with the quarterback. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure they teach you always go take the quarterback, and whatever happens behind you, somebody should have your back. But in Ryan Neal's case, there was nobody behind him. So he changed his mind 3 or 4 times in that play, in that like 10 seconds of time. And I was like, dude, just run after him. He's tiny. Worst case scenario, say there is a person behind you, a wide receiver or tight end. Put your hands up. Right. Bryce is not throwing the ball over you, right? So it was such a dumb play, and then to see Todd Bowles give him the game ball just because he stepped up and filled a role, I don't think that's how game balls work, Coach.
Charity game ball.
Yeah, and that's not how game balls work. You should have turned around and gave that ball to Antoine, who saved your team because you decided to play it close to the vest and somehow keep it a 3-point game and then give the ball back to the opposition one more time, by the way, under 2 minutes. And make sure, just in case they wanted to win the game on a fluke, who knows? If Antoine doesn't catch that pass, who knows what happens? So Antoine should have gotten that second game ball.
Yeah, I mean, Mike deserved the only game ball. Antoine dropped another pick, but he played well. Even though he applied to the transfer portal at halftime, I guess we could still give him a game ball.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing those things actually.
We are. Yeah, it's happening, unfortunately.
Listen, man, we got to talk about the fact that we faced a 1-11 team, and we did Tony Dungy take the red pen to the playbook, the game? What's going on with this team on offense, man? It's just like, this is the game that you should have figured some shit out, right? This is the game that you should be able to score points in. This is a game that you shouldn't struggle in, and yet you and I spent the majority of the time in the stands making fun of Dave Canales.
I think this happens. You got a coordinator who's trying to force balance. He's trying to force this team to be balanced instead of doing what we do well more and do it often. We are built to throw the football. We're built for that. Sorry. I know you want to run the ball more, and it was pretty evident, I'd say midway through the first quarter, that we weren't going to be able to run the ball successfully very often. But instead, you just continue to go back and pound your head against the wall and put us in, 2nd and 9 or 3rd and 9. It's whatever, 3rd and 9. You throw the ball unsuccessfully on first down, you run it on 2nd down to try to, I guess, get back into a manageable position. It's just scared football. It is. Like you said, you tweeted it out so eloquently. It's third manageable football, and Byron did the same thing, by the way. So I don't know. And especially in a game like this, where you have the opportunity to really maybe stretch your legs a little bit. They're a downed opponent. They're awful. You still try to revert and made it a closer game than it really had to fucking be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the announcers every single week, for some reason, I didn't watch this game. I watched a replay later in the night, so I got to see things a little bit differently because in the stands it's a little bit different. But I didn't pay attention to the announcers so much. But most of the games that I've watched from home, the announcers keep saying the same thing. Well, we talked to Dave Canales, and Dave said that we want to make sure that we can always be in third and manageable. Make sure that we're always in a good position to not mess up the offense so that we're not forced to be in a position to force things, into the defense's hands, right? But little does he actually realize that what he's doing is doing exactly that, which is making it so difficult for his own team. Other coaches and other offensive coordinators and other offenses in the NFL, their goal is to get first downs, get yardage, and score. The Bucs, it seems like their goal is to get to third down as opposed to avoiding it and getting first downs. They're like, let's get to third down. Let's convert that. Then let's get to third down again. Let's convert that. I asked Greg Auman earlier today for a stat that he at first didn't understand, but then he got me the numbers I wanted, right? Every new set of downs for the Bucs offense goes to a third down 53% of the time, which is 28th in the league. The Niners are at 38.1%, and they're number one in the league. And there's like a handful of teams that are maybe kind of close to them, but the league average is like 48%. But think about that. Every new set of downs, 53% of the time, they end up as a third down. That's crazy. That not only is it inefficient and asking your offense to be inefficient, but it's asking your quarterback and your team to be perfect and convert and convert and convert and convert just to score. And sometimes there's fourth downs involved in those conversions for us. On top of it all, we're not a good third down team. So it's like, it doesn't make sense, the mentality the Bucs had. Yesterday, Stank, when we were up 7-3, did it not feel like a team calling plays in a game where they're up 24-0? And then once, what happened? One play, big chunk here, big chunk there. Next thing you know, what? Carolina Panthers up 10-7. Then all of a sudden the Bucs are like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and play offense. They scored. Then what happened, Stink? They went right back to the same mentality, not trying to score. So, like, it's not just balance. It's not just how many times you run the ball versus how many times you pass the ball. It should be balanced based on efficiency. Let's run for 150. Let's throw for 200. Not let's run 10 times. Let's pass 10 times. That's not how things should work, man. And that's honestly, as bad as Baker played yesterday too, Canales is still a massive problem in terms of his approach. I don't know if that's Todd Bowles. Right now, he's the common denominator between him and Byron.
I don't know to what percentage it's Baker, to what percentage it's Canales. I think they're both guilty for this. I don't see Baker audibling into, plays where you got a single high and you got Mike one-on-one on the outside or Chris. Like, I don't see us gaming defenses ever. And I'll continue to say this. Show me the first read wide open guys. Just show them to me. Where are we scheming over open first read? Watch the Dolphins play. Watch the Eagles. Watch the 49ers play. Watch these offenses, and it's not always contested. They've got guys running wide open. I watched some of the Saints Detroit game. They were scheming their tight end open quite often. The guy's running wide open. A lot of those receivers running wide open. They're running crossers. They're running slants. They know how to attack defenses. They know how to look like one thing and do another. And everything we do is earned, and it's tough and it's hard. Every catch that Mike makes, there's a guy draped on him or within arm's reach of him. Every single play we make comes hard.
Everyone who catches a pass, not just Mike. Every person who catches a pass has someone there as if they know the play. But most of the time, Stank, that's because it's predictably a passing down for us. It's 3rd and 9. Every time we are on 3rd down, it's almost always 3rd and 9. So when we finally decide to pass on 1st down, which is what you should be doing more than not, and it doesn't work, the Bucs and Canales decide, let's run the ball on 2nd down. And every single time we do that, we gain 1 to 2 yards, and we're in 3rd and 9 again. And so, like, that is a massive, you could say Baker's missing guys. Baker's not looking down the field. Baker's not making the throws. I get all of that, and I agree. But on 2nd and 9 or on 2nd and 10, and when you run the ball up the middle for 1 yard, that is not on Baker. And it looks like they don't even allow him to make the change or the call, or it's not built into the system. I don't know. It's hard to imagine the team would go that way. But there's too many other teams that understand that you can't set up 3rd and long by just running it for 1. They're banging their head against the wall constantly. And then next thing you know, 3rd and 9, go pull a rabbit out of your ass, everybody on offense. When the other team knows that we're going to run the ball? Or how about when we get a holding call and it's 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 15 or 2nd and 20, we run the ball. And now we're back at 3rd and long. It doesn't make any sense.
Our head coach is perfectly fine with this, clearly, because we haven't changed our stripes the entire season.
I agree.
So it still goes back to Bowles. He likes these close games. He wants to keep his defense off the field. He wants these 9, 10, 12 play drives. He would prefer to play small ball than attack, and because he doesn't trust his defense. But that's the problem with him as a head coach. I feel like he only focuses on the shortcomings of the defense and not on the shortcomings of the offense. Like you can't play to one to protect the other. You got to still do what we do well. And what we do well is play big ball. We have guys who can play big ball. And okay, maybe you don't trust the offensive line to protect, which I think they've done a fairly decent job of doing at times.
They even did a good job yesterday, honestly.
But Baker doesn't look comfortable. Baker doesn't look comfortable back there. He's second guessing. He's double clutching. I can't remember who said it in the chat. I don't think he likes this system. I don't think this is a system that he thought he was getting himself into. I don't know what this system is ultimately. And against a bad football team, we struggled. Against good football teams, we get boat raced. And I don't know. Nothing's being fixed. We don't seem to be improving anywhere at all. Yep, we play for the division next week. In Atlanta, we could potentially beat Atlanta. They're not that good either, by the way. We should have beat them when they were here, but that doesn't make me feel good. It just doesn't. We all know what we're dealing with here. As soon as we play a team that's halfway fucking decent, we get outcoached, we get outplayed. We seem to forget. We're always got our defense is always making mistakes. It's frustrating, man.
I used to say there were some execution issues, and I think there are execution issues from Baker. Yeah. People in the chat who think we're pushing Baker, listen, I don't give a fuck who our quarterback is. We had a lot of fun in the offseason doing the trash versus the Baker
accusing
thing.
Me of pushing Baker. Imagine that.
Like we had a lot of fun with that, and it wasn't we think Baker's going to win a Super Bowl. I simply thought Baker's going to be better than Trask, and he won the competition. That's all it is, man. Baker's clearly has inefficiencies. He has issues. He's not a perfect quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. He misses calls. He misses plays. He misses throws that are there. All of these things are happening. But that doesn't discount the fact that Dave Canales is still not calling things the way they should be called. If you're in 2nd and 15, why the fuck are you running the ball when the box is loaded? Like, I get it. Sometimes you're going to call a draw. They got a soft zone. They're back in coverage or in cover. You could get it, steal a few. You steal 8 yards maybe. That makes sense. Loaded box, run the ball. Loaded box, run the ball. First down, almost every time we get a first down following a first down pass, we run the ball on the very next play. Like, it's predictable, man. It's almost a joke watching this. And we're, Stank is in After Dark mode. We are in the stands predicting a lot of this shit, and we are not X's and O's guys. We're not Dr. Pless. And what do you think opposing teams are going to be doing? Like that's the stuff I have a problem with, and it's week in, week out. Clearly, Dave has not learned. Clearly, Dave hasn't figured it out. Is it Todd Bowles sending his orders down? I don't know. He is the common denominator between him and Byron. But at the end of the day, like you were saying earlier, man, it's like they're just happy, like having a lead, milking the clock, and creating this slim margin of error for their entire team, and not just their entire team. But their offense is put in such a weird, not their offense. Their defense is put in such a weird scenario that, like, the other team has good players, man. This is the NFL. It's not college. We're not playing San Jose State Community College every damn week, right? So, like, those teams, I know, Blair Witch Project.
My cell phone flashlight is my light now, so I'm getting creepy on this fucking show right now.
So, like, every team has playmakers. Every team's going to get a lucky bounce. Every team's going to make a good play. And the Bucs put themselves in a situation where they could lose a game on a lucky play because there's no margin for error, which is impossible to win. We saw this with Tony Dungy with the defense and the offense when Trent Dilfer was the quarterback. The defense had to constantly win games, and it was just unnecessary pressure that Don Abraham said was absolutely unfair.
Yeah, it's also a different era where you could out physical your offense. You could impose your will on our defenses were suffocating. You can't play like that anymore. You can't hope to always hold teams to under 10, 9 points. And I don't know who earlier was saying, you guys are criticizing Dungy. He's the best coach we've ever had. Nobody's criticizing Dungy. Our offenses sucked with Tony. So you can give Dungy all the love you want. There's a reason he got fired. Thank God he ultimately got fired. He's the reason that this franchise was brought to where we matter. But yeah, I will still criticize Tony Dungy's offenses because they were terrible always.
Well, the one thing I will give those offenses, though, Stank, is that they understood what we were good at. They knew that Tony Mayberry and those guys weren't pass blockers, so let's just run the ball. And we had lightning and thunder with Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott. And so at least those offenses understood, you know what? Tony likes to run the ball, but we actually happen to be good at running the ball. So it made sense. This team is trying to be something that they're not, forcing us to do those things that we don't do well when there's stuff that we can do well. Because when push comes to shove, this team can move the ball. You've seen it. When there's a sense of urgency and their backs are against the wall, when it's third down, when they're down, and the scoreboard, like all of a sudden they have this switch. Oh yeah, let's go attack. Like at the end of the first half, we have 2 timeouts, a little bit under 2 minutes. We get the ball back, knowing Carolina is going to get the ball back at the top of the half, right? Or opening of the third quarter. We have a chance to steal 3 points, maybe steal 7 points. 2 timeouts. So your entire playbook is open, your entire field is open. What are we doing, Stank? We're running out patterns. We're running out patterns and we go 3 and out, as opposed to attacking the middle of the field. We have no limitations, yet we limited ourselves. That right there is the entire season on offense for us.
Coaching, they don't trust the personnel they have, and like I said, Canales is trying to make this offense be something it isn't, instead of doing what he said when he first got here, which is he's going to cook with the ingredients he has, but he's just not doing that. And nobody can tell me any difference. He can't tell me any different. He's doing the same shit week after week after week. Maybe there's changes that we don't see behind the scenes, but the product at the end of the day is always the same. It's mind blowing. I mean, you can't tell me that Jason Light and the owners of this team are happy with the product they're putting out there right now. And I feel like our talent level is much, much better than we play week after week after week. We've got injuries on defense. They've been walking wounded in our secondary all year. Our pass rush has been up and down. There's inconsistencies on defense, but offensively, we had one breakout game yet? Somebody remind me.
I mean, the Texans game, people say, but that was only because we kind of had no choice but to keep trying to score. The Bills game, we looked a little bit better, but again, that's because we kind of had more of a sense of urgency because we had to score. It's never been, let's go out there and outscore the opponent. It's, let's go see how this game plays out. Oh, shit, we have to score? Okay, I guess we're going to go score. Like, that is the mentality of this team. It trickles down from the head coach, man. Friends or not, like, that's, it's clear that it's trickling down from the head coach. And Dave did have some wrinkles yesterday, Stank. He set up that jet sweep with Godwin for like 4 quarters, basically, going back to last week. And so it finally worked, right? They finally actually gave him the ball. So I will give him credit there. There was some creativity, but there was a play, I think, at the end of the second quarter or close to the end of the second quarter, or at the top of the second quarter, sorry, or almost at the end of the first, where it was 3rd and long, and every single receiver that was in the passing route, all 4 of them, ended their routes 3 yards short of the sticks. And he ends up throwing it to Trey Palmer, who drops it. And it's like any one of the guys Baker throws it to on that play, for the people who want to say it's all on Baker. It's not 100% on Baker. He's got his fair share of blame. Don't worry. But if he throws to any one of those guys, they're tackled and they don't get a first down. So whose fault is it that? Like, those routes are being run 3 yards short on purpose? What's the point of that?
I would love to see our rack stats. I really would, because we have to be at the bottom.
Got to be at the bottom
quarter of the league in regards to run after catch. Mike Evans is the only guy I see that's like making an effort for the first time in his career.
And he's not the best yak. He's not the guy to have run the yak. I'm sorry.
He's not. By the way, we had a super chat from a Panthers fan. Look at that. Support from Panthers Nation. He said, I'm a UPS driver. We got one of those. He's out today, unfortunately. He's out there still delivering packages. I'm a UPS driver out of Charlotte. Panther fans hate Tepper, wanted to keep Wilkes, and wanted C.J. Stroud. I love reminding them the Bucs have 2 rings. Good. You should continue to do that, right? You need to be an anti-Panthers fan. I still hate the Panthers. Like, they were abusive to us for quite a few years with Cam and Jonathan Stewart and 89. I don't really like to say that fucking piece of shit's name. They were really really tough to beat for a long time, and now they are what they are. But yeah, but thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it, and go Bucs.
Yeah. And the next thing too we're gonna talk about, man. We kind of touched on it a little bit. Bucs O-line. When we were watching the game at first, I still don't think they know what the hell they're doing when it comes to run blocking. They kind of somehow ran for 130 yards yesterday, Stank. Not sure how. But Rashad had a decent game at the end of it all. He had a really good run at the end that was 30 yards. Maybe that kind of makes it seem a little bit better. But they ran for
Godwin's run, that run.
Yeah, he had 189, I think, over the last 2 weeks. But their pass blocking wasn't terrible. I do think the offensive line has not been an issue for the most part in terms of the passing side of things.
Worst isn't healthy. Just go across the board. I think they played decent enough. Run blocking still is not our strength, and it won't be with this unit. Not when we're as
not when you're running into loaded boxes. Not if you're running into a loaded box. Like, what do you expect? Like that. That's been my issue, man. I'm saying it every week too. It's like, listen, if you know you can't run the ball into a loaded box, why don't you set up the run by stretching out the defense and using your guys? Like Chris Godwin was out there. Chris Godwin put up straight zeros outside of that rushing touchdown, Stank. Like that's
inexcusable.
That's inexcusable from you watch him, he doesn't look good running his routes yesterday. He didn't look good.
No, he's hurt. Like I said, he's hurt.
And he didn't look crisp. He didn't look like he was really he was coming out of his break slower and kind of off balance compared to what we expect from a guy like Chris. But man, how do you not have ways to just get him the ball every here? You know what? Fuck the rest of the game, Stank. First 15 plays of a game are scripted, right? On offense. How is Mike and Chris not in your script?
No, you got to feature Trey Palmer, bro. He's the future here, evidently.
Cade Otton.
Yeah, Cade. I don't know. And we actually looked pretty good the last 2 weeks on our scripted plays. If it not for a ridiculous penalty, I think we probably scored on our first drive this week. That kind of kicked us, out of rhythm, and then eventually we'd score on our second drive. But I don't know, man. There's certain people that have to get 7-8 touches a game. Chris is one of those guys. Maybe it's because he's not healthy right now, and they're using him as a decoy. That's the only
they called a jet sweep to him. Yeah. That's my thing. Like if you were to use him as decoy and he's not healthy, you just called a jet sweep. It's harder on you to get tackled in a running scenario than it is in a passing scenario. I'm sorry. But like now you have everyone coming at you, bigger guys too, by the way, because you're at the line of scrimmage. Somebody doesn't get their block, you're getting blown up and you're getting landed on, you're getting rolled up on from behind by big boys. So like the whole decoy injury thing, I get, but man, they wouldn't have called a jet sweep if that was the case. Like to not have the correct receiver stacked makes no sense to me. You should be stacking Mike and Chris, not stacking Trey and Rashad. Like that does, and then having Mike all by himself. Like that doesn't make sense, man. You're giving clean releases to a guy in Trey Palmer who, listen, he shined in the preseason, but man, he's underwhelmed. He's dropped some passes too. Like the guy ain't Chris Godwin. You're paying him $20 million a year to stand around and do nothing.
Hey, Greg DeCruz. Sorry, I butchered your name. Actually, not sorry at all. Godwin looks disinterested. It's actually sad. I think part of it is that he's not 100%. The other part is he's out there doing cardio. No, it's hard to stay interested when you're not a part of the offense. They're not even trying to feature you. Some of it's probably Baker. I don't know, man. I honestly, you can't tell me that Canales is like, nah, I'm not going to use him. No, we're just, Chris is going to be our third read every play. We're just going to feature Trey Palmer, and then we're going to try to hit, set up Mike with our terrible play action. And this is the offense I want to run. And we're going to use Cade Otton and whatever it is. And we're going to run Rashad into a wall over and over and over again. It's just the same fucking thing, bro. Like I'm so frustrated that there doesn't seem to be there just doesn't seem to be any changes. Like you do realize I don't give a fuck that you just got here and that you're a dime piece. You do realize that you're about to be back on a plane back to Seattle, right? Like there's a very good chance that this head coach and his entire staff gets fired. That includes you too, Dave. So this might be your only chance ever at having this position. So why not throw caution to the wind?
So look, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have very close to first read, not for a first read target share. I don't want to say target share, but I think Mike is 30% of the time he's the first read on plays, and Chris Godwin is 29%.
Okay.
So it's not that he's not the first read on any plays, and Mike Evans is always the first read.
You know what? Why aren't they giving Mike Allstott the ball?
Why isn't Mark getting the ball?
For that deep reason alone, Canales needs to get shipped out of here.
But
we haven't seen the A train with one carry this entire fucking season.
There's some disconnect between him and Baker, though. It's weird. It's like Baker rarely looks to Chris unless it's he's running for his life, and it's Chris to the rescue on third down. And it's like they use him like Ike Hilliard back in the day, where he was just every catch on third down, convert a first down. And
that's a really good comparison.
And so I understand that there's some stuff there that's like maybe Baker's just not seeing things. Maybe he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. But still, man, there's other moments where you're like, how is he not throw the ball to him? I hated the wide receiver screen, but I'm begging for the wide receiver screen of Chris Godwin right now. Like, I'm begging for that play because it at least gives this guy the ball. He's so good with the ball in his hands. And so it's frustrating to watch a guy like Mike get the chance to do those things, and he's not very good with the ball in his hand. No offense to Mike. Guy's a GOAT. Okay, I'm not trying to make fun of him.
By the way, Baker doesn't look the same. Baker doesn't look the same to me. He doesn't. I don't know if he's hurt. And he's a tough guy. He's not going to tell anybody if he's hurting. He doesn't look. I felt like at the beginning of the year, although this offense wasn't efficient, man, he was. I don't know. His arm just looked different. He doesn't seem to be.
The difference thing was that
gunning it in there velocity wise. Something is off with Baker too.
Remember, he was converting third downs at a 70% clip, which was. Everyone was like, "Wow, this is amazing," and everyone who knew was like, "That's not sustainable. That's not gonna go the entire 17 games. That's not gonna happen." And so now it's all come back down. And it was like, okay, we're not good on third down, but I can only blame the quarterback for 50% of that because they are in 3rd and 9 because they choose to run the ball for the first 2 downs most of the time. And so now you're like, okay, so I can blame him for not making the passes. A lot of people are saying that in the chat. We're on that. We're not disagreeing with you, but we're not going to discount the fact that Dave is still not calling plays that are supposed to be called in certain scenarios. And I just said Chris Godwin plus says the same thing. Chris has been schemed. It just, I don't feel it's consistent enough, and I don't feel it's a quick type of read. Why even put it in your quarterback's decision making to scheme him open and not have him throw the ball as opposed to throw it to him immediately? Like that it's very intentional. That's what I want. I see more intention with this. That's again. The offense I'm just frustrated as hell watching this, man.
You should be, bro. Look at a guy like Sean McVay who features some guy off the street, bro, and he's a star now, Puka Nacua. Like, if you want to get the guy the ball, and that's a coach who always does that shit. He always finds ways to get his guys the ball. Always. So don't tell me it can't be done. And if you want to blame Chris for not getting the ball because he dropped that first pass, that wasn't a high percentage throw, first of all, to begin with. It wasn't a great throw, and maybe, Chris should probably come down with that thing, but you're not going to throw him the ball for the rest of the fucking game because of that? Get out of here with that shit. I don't want to hear. I think
they did throw him the ball again. They did. It just, for whatever reason, when Baker gets in trouble, he looks for Mike, and he just throws it. And I think we saw Jameis do that a lot, too. But I don't know, man.
You think Baker shook right now after what we saw out of Kyle last week? You think Baker shook? Because I know I would be.
That one pass. Yeah. I don't
yeah. Yeah. Is that a part of the show? Is that one of the segments?
No. Let's talk about something positive. All right. Mike Evans.
Okay.
Reaches his 10th 1,000-yard season yesterday.
Yeah.
He's played in the league for only 10 seasons, by the way. So he's never not had 1,000 yards in a year.
Is that good? Is that good?
It's apparently really good. He's right under Jerry Rice. He's, I think, one of 3 guys that's ever done it in terms of 10 in a row. So, in my opinion, first ballot Hall of Famer. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I do think that he is.
What do you mean you're a little biased? No, you're not. You're not a little biased.
A lot biased.
That's unbelievable. Maybe you're a lot biased, but that's still unbelievable. When you start getting into the never been done category, what's the argument here? Huh? He played. Go look at the quarterbacks throwing in the ball, please. Somebody in the chat post the list of quarterbacks because everybody was posting yesterday. Let's go down that list for a second and then consider how consistent he's been under all these coordinators, with all these different receivers, with all these absolute garbage can quarterbacks throwing him the football, and still has done something no other receiver has ever fucking done. So go fuck yourself if you want to question him. And Stephen Beck, if you're watching this right now, go to bed, bro. How are you all of a sudden just anti Mike Evans being a Hall of Famer. What's wrong with
Here's the knock. Here's what I was
is
hear.
Is he because he's better looking than you that somehow like you feels that some type of way about him?
Listen, I think Stephen Beck and Dave Canales have been in cahoots to ruin the Bucs offense I think this has been the plan from the get-go. Because there's no other reason.
Listen, I don't like beautiful people around my team. Look what Tom Brady ultimately did.
I want a ugly coaching staff. I want these people, because then I know they don't have a social life. They are staying in. They're going through the film. They're breaking down what they're going to do next week. And their game plans are 4 or 5 weeks ahead because they don't have a social life. They're not out there getting chased by pussy. They don't need to worry about it, right? Nope. I want every one of them to look like Rex Ryan. Every one of them to look like Bill Parcells. Like, I want ugly coaching staff. And I think that is the problem, Stank. This coaching staff, too fucking pretty.
That might be your best point you've ever made on this show.
Thank you.
Oh, God. I mean, Chucky was ugly, bro. He had a Chucky scowl to him. There was something wrong.
He uglied his way. He uglied his way to sexiest man alive.
He made himself ugly. That was how he was able to be successful, by just making himself ugly. This is like, can we get some analytics on this? When's the last head coach that was beautiful that won a fucking Super Bowl?
Sean McVay. But he'd already kind of passed his prime, right?
I think he's fake beauty, bro. But he's Hollywood. He's got had a lot of work done. I don't really believe in that. I don't really believe that guy.
At one point he was beautiful, but I stand pat that I think Dave Canales is too pretty to be an offensive coordinator with some grit. You got to hold guys accountable when you walk in there and you're fucking glistening and glamour. Like, who's going to take you seriously? I'm not scared of that guy. Come on. His eyebrows are too perfect. His eyebrows look too damn nice.
He's on the whiteboard breaking down plays, and I just can't stop like looking at him, bro.
Yeah,
like I forget where I'm even at.
Yeah, talking about a team distract. You got one walking around fucking $1 all the time, distracting players. Guys can't get their audibles down because they can't stop staring at this guy. Coach, I got lost in your eyes. Can you go over that play one more time? No, we don't have time. We've already reached our limitations this week. We can't keep. We can't, right? No, going back to Mike Evans. The whole thing that people always keep saying to me about him is the people who are anti Hall of Fame for him is that he's never been the top 3 receiver in any one of the seasons that he's played in the NFL. Okay.
Who cares?
1, there's tons of other receivers who've never had that title who are in the Hall of Fame. 2, it's not his fault. He's played in an era with absolute monsters. We're talking about Calvin Johnson towards the end there, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. What's his face? Devontae Adams. Like, there's so many guys. It's like, you're going to hold it against him that he played in an era designed to be the high-flying, passing NFL. That shouldn't matter. He's still done something that no one else has done. He might pass Jerry Rice at the end of it all and say he's never not had 8,000-yard season, and he passes Jerry for the total. I mean, that's crazy. That is unprecedented. He's absolutely a fucking Hall of Famer.
I mean, okay, Megatron aside, that guy was a freak. But honestly, he washed out way quicker than he should have. You got to have the sustainability. Yeah, play for the line. Whatever it was, he just couldn't hack it. Devontae Adams, bro, had Aaron Rodgers, and he's a good receiver, great route runner. But Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and then we're winning 4, 5, 6 games a season, and Mike is still out there producing. And by the way, maybe sharing some of the spotlight with guys like Vincent Jackson and stuff like that. So it's not like he's been the only option out there too. He's still producing, still eating. With some fairly good other options around him at times. So, real quick though, earlier we missed it. Bucks Basement with a $5 super chat. He said if it wasn't for Winfield's pick, Bowles was literally about to cough up the game. Bowles' game management is one of the biggest weaknesses of the team. Yeah, it is. I don't think anybody can defend that. I don't think Bowles could even defend that. If he came on here right now, he'd probably question his own clock management because it's fucking weird. It always is weird. And we have a little bit of behind the scenes information. We can't really confirm on the show, but we do know that Todd gets some bonuses from timeouts. Listen, Peter Report's not going to give you that.
Speaking of
Scott Reynolds is not going to give you that. We know.
Do you know why the Panthers got the ball back at the end of the game one more time? Let me tell you, this is a crazy, crazy thing that they did. They called timeout. They called timeout before the 2-minute warning. They essentially stole a timeout. And then they ended up getting the ball, like a minute something left in the game. Had a chance. if you guys remember last week, we refused to call timeout before the 2-minute warning. Ran out of time, didn't pull it off, ended up losing the game. You know how it goes, that whole deal. But yeah, even a guy who knows he's not going to be back next year is an interim head coach who I don't even fucking know his name. Even that guy was calling timeouts before the 2-minute warning. I still have no idea who was on the sideline for the other team.
I don't either.
Yesterday, no clue, none.
No, I don't either. I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know any of the receivers in the Panthers. I still don't know it. I was at the game watching. Who the fuck are those guys, bro?
They're pulling off some passes though.
Who's that entire team except for Brian Burns, who tried Cody Mauch, and Cody was like, "That was awesome." I didn't hear it.
Lay that. So one, I missed the play. I had to take my kid to the bathroom. And two, so tell me what happened, and then explain to me what Cody said afterwards. I saw a screenshot of it and didn't get a chance to watch it. So I want to hear from you.
I guess there was some kind of scuffle, altercation. Somebody pissed Brian Burns off. We had just scored. According to Brian Burns, we just scored. Somebody had said something nasty to him earlier. He was just salty. They were in a scrum, and Cody was like in there. And I guess the first buck he saw was Cody, and he punched him. And so Cody, after the game, did an interview. Was like he loved it. He's like, that was awesome. Like he was so happy to get punched. Yeah, this is why Jason Light falls in love with gingers, because they love the abuse, right? He rocks no teeth, right? He's got a bankroll now. He could easily get those chiclets fixed, but why would he, right? He just wants to feel the pain of the world, right? He wants to look ugly, like our coaching staff should. Jason Light's not a looker, not really.
That's why he gets shit done. That's why he gets shit done.
That's how you get shit done.
You know what's crazy is the guy with no teeth. He smiles a lot for a guy with no teeth. So you know he's proud of the no teeth.
He's so proud. He's so proud of being absolutely hideous looking, and that, you know what? That makes him sexy in my mind. If I'm out there looking for a mate, that's what I'm looking for. To be perfectly honest with you, good thing I'm booed up. You know, so, but anyways, yeah, I am booed up for sure. Hey, not available. Don't even try it. Yeah. But listen, you'd
be a good coach though. You're pretty fucking ugly. You'd be a really good head coach.
I would be. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying it.
You'd be on my coach. You'd be on my ugly ass coaching staff. 100%.
Fuck yeah, bro. Man, I knew I liked you.
I got you.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, man. I got
fuck
you.
Yeah.
I would, no joke, I would pick the ugliest motherfuckers I could to build the coaching staff. I need to know they have no life outside of football. That's what you need, man. Remember Monty Kiffin, ugly as fuck.
Super ugly.
Absolutely. Guy looked like a hermit crab. Like you knew that dude was never not talking about football, because that's where he could shine, right? I think that's the problem. Too pretty on the coaching staff. And I think somebody mentioned in the chat, the moment we cut Tyler Johnson, this team has gone down fucking.
Yeah.
Think about it. Last year, right before the first game of the season, we made our final cut. Tyler Johnson was one of them. And when we had no more Johnson in that room, things went downhill. It went south. It went NFC South.
He did. Christopher Cole says Malk is our next center. I don't believe that. I don't like his build for the position, to be honest with you. I know Jason Light has said that, and Jason Light is untouchable. Brent O'Neill, you're a moron. But yeah, no, I just don't. He doesn't have the right build. He's not squatty enough. I like my centers to just have squat,
but he's pretty angry, man.
Big old sweaty ass. I don't think anger is not the problem.
I like him. I like him as a center. I mean,
I know Hainsey is not the answer. That's for damn sure.
How many times are you going to snap the ball at the dude's feet?
Bro, he snaps the ball low. He snaps the ball to the right. He snaps the ball like he's really, really inaccurate with the snaps. That fucks up the timing. Nobody talks about that shit. Baker's not going to ever call out his center. Never going to call out the guys in front of him.
I also think he's too tall. He's too skinny. He doesn't have that fat base. He's too pretty to be a center, Stank. That's what it is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm tired of converting guys into centers. Let's just get a fucking beast of a center. If there's another Ryan Jensen out there, Jason Light, go find him and bring him in.
Hey, might be a guy in West Virginia. Might be a guy in West Virginia who plays center.
I heard about that.
I have a little bit of I have an insider connected to said center from West Virginia. Just might be related to him, and I think that guy could be the dude. Hey, steal him in the 7th round.
You think that's why we were playing country roads all that time? Was it like a signal?
Oh, we're sending out smoke signals. That's what we're doing there. That's that.
Somebody said, "Listen,
we need to make him feel at home before we draft him." Makes sense.
I got kicked out of my seat at the game. People didn't hear the background story. First of all, Sammer was accosted and assaulted by one of the TSA agent or whatever they call the security guards. I think she's TSA. At the game by an elderly woman. There was an altercation, and we got her fired, thankfully. But I got kicked out of my seat by Sammer's spawn. So I didn't get to see this new thing we did after the third quarter. Evidently, it wasn't Country Roads. Sammer, can you report on this? What happened?
In terms of the Country Roads, or what are you talking about?
No, like somebody said they got rid of Country Roads because we were bullying them. They didn't play this game, and evidently they turned the lights off. People had their cell phones up.
Okay, so I don't know. They did something when that everybody turned on their flashlights on their phone, and they played some song. I couldn't understand what song was playing because the Bucs have the worst PA system in the entire NFL. I've been to good stadiums with nice PA systems, okay? Don't try to tell me otherwise. I don't understand a word coming out of any video's mouth, and I don't understand any of the music unless I understand and recognize the beat, and even then it's like something from the 80s, right? I don't know what they were playing, but everybody had their phones out. They were doing the whole flashlight thing. It was kind of cool. The lights went out. It was definitely
I am right now with my own flashlight in my face?
Yeah, basically. It was a lot more entertaining, I will tell you right now, than anything that happened on the field offensively. 100%.
Jonas said they played Enter the Sandman. Okay.
Sure.
That's better than Country Roads.
I mean, yeah, anything but that.
We have somebody in the chat named B. Malk. Is that Cody's family?
Yeah,
What's
definitely.
Up?
It's definitely his family.
What's up, man?
Hey,
we big Cody guy right here.
Cody has come a long way from week 1 to now, week 13. It looks like he's going to be quite a stud. I think the offensive line is going to be fine heading into the offseason.
He's his uncle.
Yep.
What's up, man? Fuck yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, tell him to come on the show. Look, I'm missing T too, bro. I got plenty of missing T.
You're pretty old. And congratulations now that you're a grandpa for the third time. Before I forget, everybody out there, if you are new, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this nonsense tonight. And if you've always been here, don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Leave us a comment. We don't read any of them, but we love that you leave them. No, I read some of them. But I think they're hilarious, honestly.
Listen, go hilarious. Out of your way to leave us a comment. We're not going to read them.
No, we're not.
We're not going to read it. But listen, it doesn't matter what we do. It only matters what you do.
What are
you doing during the day anyways when you're pretending to work?
Next time you're stuck in traffic, pull up your phone. Don't pay attention to the green or red light. And just leave me a comment.
That's what Florida drivers do.
Yeah, I mean that's what's supposed to happen. Miss the cycle of the light, no big deal. But you could tell your friends. I left a comment on the Loose Cannons YouTube video. That's what matters. You see, you guys got to
tell the officer too. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, get your priorities right. And for those of you who don't know and would prefer to listen to us as opposed to seeing our beautiful faces, well, my beautiful face, Stank is definitely head coach material. You can listen to us on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google Play, and also on Amazon, where we usually upload the audio version of the show the next morning. So if you prefer to listen, go ahead and do that. And if you do, go ahead and leave us a rating because that would be great. It'd be really awesome to give us 5 stars because I think we deserve 5 stars because we have to watch a 1-star product every Sunday. And I think that we deserve the 5 stars just because of that. Don't you agree, Stank?
Imagine not giving us 5 stars. Yes, I did become a grandpa. My daughter gave birth to an old man. Literally, she gave birth to a baby who looks like he's 195 years old. He's just a little old man.
Yeah, Benjamin Stank.
I wish I could bring him in here right now. You
have Benjamin Stank Button. Yeah, he's got a.
She gave birth to Benjamin Button. Yeah. It's the weirdest thing.
It's the most ornery child man I've ever seen.
It's a man child.
Your baby, not your baby, but your grandbaby looks like it should be feeding ducks bread at a park. Like it looks like it was born on the bench. Yeah. Right.
You know the old man in Up? He looks like that.
There you go. You know that's what you should do for Halloween, right? Let's do it now though, because he's gonna age backwards now, right? So from here on out, he's just gonna get younger, right? That's how it works in the movie.
Yeah. Because I don't believe in beauty, and we don't believe in giving birth to beautiful children here. That's how we win.
Hey, that child is going to be a hell of a defensive coordinator.
I can feel it.
I can feel it, dude. That kid's going to call blitzes. That kid's going to have defensive linemen running sleds at midnight in high school. You got yourself a fucking coaching staff, Stanker.
Yeah, we don't listen. You ever like see the look that the old lady's like, look, oh, your baby's so beautiful. We've been getting a lot of that lately. We're at Cracker Barrel, like, Holy baby.
Bless his soul. When they say bless his soul, that baby is ugly. But hey, you know what, Stank? You lean in. You lean into that. You lean into the, to that group, and you elbow and be like, he's gonna be one hell of a fucking football coach.
He is, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you don't want that motherfucker in your face. You don't fuck up and jump off sides. Because my grandson, he's gonna get ugly.
He's
right in your.
He's gonna literally get ugly in your face.
He's gonna get super ugly right in your face.
Yeah, bless that head coach's soul.
Hey, I might get him on the next show. We'll see. We'll see how things go.
I don't know, man. That probably drive our likes into the fucking cellar.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to using the child to, further my career. I think there's nothing wrong with that. We live in a society now where that's frowned upon. Nah, I'm putting that little bitch to work.
Baby Gronk is basically his dad living through him, right?
Yeah. $37 for a box of diapers today. Fuck that.
So we call we call your grandkid Baby Bill Parcells. Baby Parcells.
Yeah.
Or Baby
I don't know. Whatever he needs to start pulling his weight around here.
What's the name of the dude from Up? What's that guy's name? We ever just as the old man.
I don't think he has a name. I don't think anybody in that movie has a name. Isn't it a silent movie? I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
You've seen silent movies, so you've been pretty old. I was gonna ask.
Holy shit, Smitty! What? Smitty said, "Congratulations, Sank. I have a grand on the way, number 13."
Oh, what?
What the fuck, bro?
I didn't know Smitty.
The most fertile family. 13 grandkids.
I had no idea that Smitty was actually Phillip Rivers. Holy shit! I met him too. I didn't realize.
He's the Phillip Rivers of grandfathers.
Oh my God. Phillip Rivers of grandfather.
Grandpa Rivers.
This show is so
Smitty,
stupid.
Hey, Smitty, you know what? Can we take a call? Because it's Atlanta week. We need to hear from Smitty. He's in Atlanta.
We'll call him. We'll call him on Thursday. Smitty, be ready. You're going to be our guest on Thursday.
Make sure you're on Thursday because you're probably going to be the only one that calls in. We need a prayer. That's probably why we suck so bad, bro. We are
God doesn't
podcast.
Love us. Yeah,
absolutely godless podcast. No prayers this entire season. I don't know what we've turned into, but this is not the Loose Cannon podcast.
Schmitty Rivers. Crown said Schmitty Rivers.
Yeah, this is not the Loose Cannons podcast I grew up watching. I don't know why.
Dude. He's got 13 grandkids. That's an entire fucking offensive starting unit. And you still got some subs.
And 2 backups.
And some subs, dude. He's got a backup center and a backup guard, swing rotational guard / tackle. What are we talking? What? Schmitty should be. Hey, I guarantee you Schmitty's a good fucking head coach. How many of those kids are ugly, Schmitty? Be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
You can be honest. They're grandkids and not your real kids. You can be honest. How many?
Literally half the people who are going to be in that stadium in Atlanta are going to be Smitty's grandkids.
I got a whole section.
The entire fucking section.
Callie Buck says all of them. Schmitty, how many of your grandkids are old so we can end this show? Come on. Or, I mean, not old. Ugly.
Old? I'm the only one with an old grandchild.
Oh, man. How many of them are old, Schmitty, so we get out of the show? Come on. I know you're watching. He's probably laughing right now.
Tune in next Thursday night and find out.
The 2 old guys who fight with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man. It's a win. It's a victory Monday. It's Smitty right now. He's trying to figure it out. Maybe we'll find out.
He's going through his photos. He's going through his gallery.
He's no way he remembers all their names.
Yeah, he's 13? Like this
not happening.
This one's a 50. He's like keeping one hand count on this side. This one's pretty ugly too. Yeah, I don't know. This one can go either way. Depends on. Let me go look at different. Oh yeah, I guess this one too.
Yeah.
What's that? He got that front row sticker handicap.
Okay, maybe.
Off the fucking rails. Oh, B Shuck with a $20 super chat.
In the building. Hey, B Shuck tried to give away a ticket to the game, which nobody wanted, by the way. That tells you something. Except for this one guy who wanted to send his 8-year-old to the game by himself.
That was a thing? It was Club. It was West Club.
Somebody shamed me and said, Stink, it wouldn't be cool to send a kid to the game by itself. And I was like, oh, this is a pussy-ass generation. My parents would have sent me to the game by myself. And sure enough, the first person who wanted the ticket wanted to send an 8-year-old to the game by himself. You can't write that shit. You can't.
Gary Buff. I remember the Buccaneers. That shit was weird with the old lady. Yeah, believe it or not, the old lady is actually the one who gave birth to this old baby. Anyway, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Go Bucs.
Welcome to town.